What's going on, everyone? Joshua here, and welcome to another video. This one is a little bit different, as you can tell by the title. Today I ate cheese, and not the vegan cheese, the cheese that comes from a cow, the secretions from a female cow. And I wanted to make this video to talk a little bit about my experience, to sort of vent and share how I'm feeling. I like to be as authentic and as transparent as possible with the hopes of adding as much value to you as I can. And also I wanted to talk a little bit about what I learned from this experience, how to take this negative experience, turn it into a positive, and most importantly, how to move forward and the things that we can do as vegans, if this does happen to us, to strengthen this movement and to create the most amount of change. So I'll start with a little bit about what happened. I'll share the story. Basically, there's this chain of restaurants. There's 3 locations here in Brisbane, Australia, called Veggiarama. One of them is completely vegan. The other 2 are vegetarian. So Happy Cow, when I looked at Veggiarama, said it was completely vegan. So I went to this location and I had an amazing vegan meal. Basically, it's like a lunch buffet. You pick a rice and then you pick up to 3 different entrees. I think they're more like Indian or Thai or Vietnamese, and you can put all these curries and dals and soups together on this one plate. So I went to this vegan restaurant the other day and I had an amazing meal, all vegan. Today, that one was closed, so I went to the other location, literally a block away in the mall. Still says Veggiarama, same spread. The dish that I thought had tofu in it didn't taste like tofu as I was eating it. Tasted a little bit weird, but I thought maybe they're using one of these like extra firm tofus or something like that. And it wasn't until the 2nd or 3rd piece of tofu that I was eating where I really started to question it, and it just didn't taste right. It didn't feel right. My gut was telling me something. So I actually spit the last piece out, put it in a napkin, went up to the counter and asked if what I ordered was fully vegan, or if the restaurant even was fully vegan. And he told me that this location is vegetarian, but really only 2 things on the menu that they have are not vegan, and one of those happened to be what I ordered. It was just a bummer because, one, it had been over 2.5 years since I had accidentally and knowingly consumed animal products, so this upset me. I've also been giving a lot of advice to people who have dealt with this on how to move on from this situation, because it is a negative experience for a lot of people, but how to not let that consume us and go forward. But I didn't think that I would be experiencing it myself, so this was sort of another wake-up call for me. Just I was able to practice what I preach. And I just also was pretty frustrated with the fact that I just paid money to support these industries that are breeding, enslaving, and torturing these cows or these animals. So I needed to move on. I ate my food. I was still upset. I was still processing my emotions. And then I left and started to walk back to where I'm staying. And this is when I had the realization that there are a few things that myself and you can learn if you happen to come across this situation, or you know someone that accidentally consumes animal products as a vegan. The first thing that I learned is that we're not perfect. Veganism isn't about being perfect. It's about causing the least amount of unnecessary harm as humanly possible. What I recommend doing if this happens to you, and what I did, is find out whose fault it was so that you can avoid this happening in the future. And what I mean by that is, was it your fault? In this case, I think it's a little bit of both, but did you not properly research the establishment you went to? Did you not read the menu? Did you not talk to the server and ask about a vegan option versus if it's a vegetarian option? Whose fault is it? Was it the server's fault, who actually made a mistake and brought out cow's milk instead of soy milk? Did they bring you the wrong dish instead of the vegan dish? So figure out whose fault it was so that you know how to address the situation. Because if it's your fault, then you know that you need to make sure that this doesn't happen for next time. So you need to be a little bit more cautious. Don't assume, unless you're going to a full vegan establishment. If vegans plastered all over the wall, then you can probably feel comfortable. But if you're in the food court of a mall, maybe that was a sign for myself to still ask. And it doesn't hurt. It takes a second to say, is all the food vegan here? Boom. I need to do that for next time and every time. If it was the server's fault or the restaurant's fault, now you know how to address that. And so that brings me to the third thing, is the education and inspiring of the business itself or the people that are working there. So in this case, what's going to come from this experience is I had a very long talk with one of the workers there on how I felt that for a place that has a vegan restaurant, they should be a little bit more cautious and a little bit more mindful as to what dishes they have. Because one location having, let's say, this dal as, or let's just use a stir fry, a vegan stir fry, and then the same stir fry, it looks the same veggies in there, not vegan, this one not vegan. I think they need to be a little bit more mindful on that and express that to their customers. So we spoke about that. She agreed. She even said we only have 2 things that are not vegan, so maybe we should be asking our customers if they're aware of this or if it's okay that they have something that has animal products in it. The other thing is for the business itself or the establishment is we can use this as vegans and as activists in a way to create positive change for this movement. What's going to come from this experience for me is I'm going to have a very large email or letter drafted. I'm going to have a phone call to Veggierama, and I'm going to express my feelings. I'm going to talk to them and hopefully encourage and motivate them to take their 2 stores that aren't vegan and turn them vegan. If, like I said, if all they have, and this is what I don't get for the restaurants that literally are vegan except for cow's milk that they have for coffee, you are so close. You are unbelievably close from eliminating unnecessary animal cruelty from your business, so why not just go the full way? I'm going to have this letter, I'm going to have this phone call and try to encourage them to transition both of their other locations to vegan so that all 3 Veggieramas here in Brisbane will be completely vegan. It's a great business move for them. Veganism is rising. It's the best ethical choice that you can make, the best health choice. That's how I think a positive comes from us educating and inspiring the business itself or the people working there. So I highly encourage all of you to do that as well if this comes up. Educate yourself if it was your fault, educate the business if it was theirs. If it's a little bit of both, like today, do a little bit of educating on both ends. Because I know that from now on, well, one, I'm going to try to never go to anything but a vegan restaurant. I know that's might not be feasible in certain situations, but I'm going to try as much as possible. Unless I have no other option, then I will go somewhere else. I think this was a wake-up call for myself to just make sure I'm a little bit more aware, a little bit more cautious, and then I ask. It's so easy to just ask, is everything vegan? That should be a no-brainer for us every time we order food. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about is how to take this negative situation and the negative emotions that you might be feeling if this happens and turn them into a positive and create a more positive headspace for yourself. Because as vegans and as activists, we don't want to be doing this. We don't want to be consuming the secretions and the body parts of animals. We don't want to be people contributing and supporting these industries that are breeding, enslaving, torturing, and killing these animals. This is a tough situation for a lot of people. I understand that. This isn't easy. But I hope that if you're able to take anything from this video, it's that you're not a bad person. If it was your fault, you made a mistake, you just assumed that this restaurant was vegan, you didn't ask the server, you didn't research the restaurant or the menu. Accidents happen. Like I said before, we are not perfect. Therefore, we need to find a way to move on. Because if we're stuck in this negative headspace, we're not going to be able to efficiently and effectively continue to be the best and the loudest and the strongest advocates for the animals if we're still worrying about this situation and we're letting it consume us. Because negativity, as we know, consumes our entire mind if we allow it to. So what I recommend for all of you, if this happens or if this happens to someone that you know, sit with it. Feel the emotions that you're having. I'm still processing this experience. That's why I wanted to make this video. Understand what happened. Listen to how your body's feeling, how your mind's feeling, and then come up with a plan to make sure this doesn't happen again. Because like I said, for me, this hasn't happened in 2.5 years. And I hope that it never happens again. But I need to learn from this experience, and we need to share and grow with each other so that this movement and this community just continues to get stronger and that we're there for each other as support. Think about the entire experience in a whole and talk yourself through it just so that next time it doesn't happen. Take that negativity and just turn that into some more fuel on how you can go out and create more awareness and speak to more restaurants about especially vegetarian restaurants. Try to get them to transition to a fully vegan restaurant. So use this as motivation, use this as fuel to light the fire within, to be an even stronger advocate and activist, and get creative and think of new ways that you can go out and you can create a vegan world. Long story short, to sum it up, figure out whose fault it was so that you can make sure it doesn't happen again. Understand the feelings that you're having, sit with it, express yourself, talk to people, make a video, figure out how you're gonna move forward so that you can be in the best headspace as possible, so that you can be a positive agent for social change within the vegan movement, because we need you out there. We need everyone feeling 100%. I'm not saying just to blow past it and not let this affect you, because it's still affecting me, but we're not perfect. Life happens, these situations, and negativity is always out to get us at some point in our life. It's just how we move forward. If you have any other questions, leave those in the comments below. Send me an email. Follow me on Instagram. You can also go check out my website, joshuaentis.com. I offer free 15-minute coaching session calls, also free weekly webinars on effective vegan outreach and the secret to sustainable activism. So make sure to go over there and sign up for those. I'll put the link in the description. Also, if you wanted to support my activism and my webinars and the work that I'm doing, you can be a member of my Patreon team by pledging monthly. I'll put that link below as well. And other than that, I have so much love for all of you. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Make sure to choose compassion, choose love, choose kindness, and just have an incredible rest of your week. Much love from Brisbane. Peace.